Okay, let's get right to it. I'd like to bring you something good after all the detours, U-turns, yield, stop signs that we've been through. It's nice to say it looks like we're on the right path to get us out of this dark woods of chemotherapy, this maze, switching paths and twists and turns. Two numbers to talk about. One is the creatinine, which is really the only number we need to worry about in terms of the kidneys. Again, I remember I mentioned it is trending downward. It's continued with Monday's test results coming in at a 2.36. Remember the previous week's was a 2.92. I think before that it was something like 3.44. And when we started the dialysis, somewhere around there, back in February sometime, it was like 4.35. So it's a nice drop. And I talked with a nephrologist. He came into the dialysis center while I was there yesterday, and he was excited about that. And I asked him the straight question of, okay, at what level of creatinine would you consider removing a person from dialysis? He said if there's consistency in the 1 to 2 range, he would consider it. Even at something at 2.0, he would think about dropping down to maybe dialysis 2 days a week instead of 3 days a week. So that was music to my ears. It should be to yours. An indication that the kidneys are perhaps swinging around. And that's great, great news. Now the next result, I think it's coupled with this result, is I'm seeing indirect evidence of the effects of the chemotherapy on the cancer. That is showing up in the total serum proteins. Again, I don't have the numbers, the definitive numbers are still going to come with the assays, which is right around the corner in a week or so. This is indirect evidence of that. The crazy, abnormal high levels of the IgG that's being produced by these infected cancerous plasma cells shows up in the total serum proteins, but it's confounded with other proteins in there. So you can't look at it on a quantitative basis, but make some qualitative assessments. I think is safe in doing so. That number has dropped down below 10 to 9.7 grams per deciliter. Remember, we started out, and the oncologist said that I had a very high, the highest he had seen in 40 years of serum proteins way back in September, and that was at 18, 18 point, I think was the highest, but average about 18 grams per deciliter. So that looks like it's dropped down. And remember, during protocol 1, that level never got below 12.6 and actually moved up somewhere around and then stayed between like 13 and 14, almost reflecting what happened, that that treatment became ineffective. It's like the Darzalex, this new protocol with the triple therapy, is having a positive effect on the cancer. I use the words like I think. It looks like those are classic, me out words when you lead up to it. I want to have the oncologist make these calls. I'm waiting for the definitive results for that. I'll have a discussion with my own oncologist and Dr. Janet Henry Ford. This is all coming up very soon. So hopefully what I'm seeing here with the total serum proteins is some positive foreshadowing. And I feel great. The coughing is almost essentially gone away, which I told you we went to that DPAC to take care of what could have been a lung infection. Who knows, I had some pneumonia that hung on from the hospital. Side effects, the bone pain, that also seems to be diminishing. I'm working around that. Again, they kind of every now and again hint about this going to a pain clinic. I've talked with various folks, and it's not like, you think you walk into a pain clinic and they're going to open up a medicine cabinet full of choices. It's not really like that. They said really they just teach you how to tolerate pain. Well, I don't need that. I've lifted my whole life and lifted heavy weights, and if there's one thing I can do is endure a lot of pain. So if I can just get through it and wait for the pain to subside as it's had in other various parts of my large bones, hey, that's fine. And I will say I'm walking better. We're looking good. I'm just so excited that I can bring you guys some good news. You watch this and you see these roadblocks and things that just don't work out. It's just like I'm rolling, snake eyes. This is the inflection point. This is the inflection point on the whole thing, and I'm glad you guys stayed with me. I'm glad you guys, comments below, and I've been getting them. Special thanks to Diane Paxton, Tom Brennan, LNA, my life with amyloidosis. You guys are all, and then everybody else who feeds in on that, personal notes, but they brought up some good points when I mentioned pain. That has helped me. I put the video out to help others, but they have helped me because they've been through it. Yes, Gary, we know what you're going through. I tried this, it didn't work. This might happen, watch out for this. And that's great. Again, it's just when you see that others are going through the same thing, it makes it so much easier to tolerate. And speaking of easier to tolerate, when you get some good results, what a mindset difference. It feels like it's worthwhile. If you don't, you start to question that. I'm going through all this pain and all this suffering in the chemotherapy. Where is it leading? And you start to question. And to have just a couple of good results really changes your mindset. And okay, it looks like we're on the right path. We got the right path. Now let's just get out of this dark woods of chemo, the light, because that's really what it is. And you get trapped in here, and some people don't get out of the dark woods of chemo. And I know Barney's looking over at me, Julius, help me out. You guys, I feel the spirits, and maybe you're helping guide me with this good result now. Please, comments below. I'm glad I could give this to you with some positive news. Everything looks steady state. I didn't have any traumas or dramas this week. Let's just keep it going. We'll have 8 chemo doses now, a complete cycle 1 and cycle 2. Essentially, the dosing for cycle 2 will end this coming Wednesday's dose. So we'll have that complete set, and then the following Monday, tests will be run with actual quantitative numbers. So I'm excited. Thank you for staying with me. Please stay with me. It's made a heck of a difference getting all these comments. I'm so glad I continued the channel and took it in this direction. It's been rewarding for me, and I hope rewarding for you. And I'm glad I could get good news to you. Cheers, till next time.